Hi friends, welcome to the teen cheesecloth ghost craft that we're going to do today. Most of your supplies are going to be in your craft packet. I'm going to go ahead and review what those things are. And there's a couple things you're going to need to grab from home, but there is a list in your craft packet of what you're going to need. So that should help you out as well. So the first thing we have in your craft packet is a piece of cheesecloth. We ordered some boxes of cheesecloth off of Amazon, and an organic cheesecloth, and it came in a very large sheet, and we cut it down to the squares that you're going to be using today. And so this is what that looks like, and you can see that in your package. You can purchase cheesecloth here in town, Walmart, Target. It's sometimes with the canning supplies, things like that. So it comes in a very large sheet, so you could make tall, wide ghosts as well, but we chose to make a small one. So that's your first item in your craft kit. You also have a little piece of felt that is sticky backed, and you're going to need a pair of scissors to cut that. That's what we're going to be using to make our ghost eyes. It does stick to the finished project, but if you would like, you could sure grab a hot glue gun and hot glue those on as well. You're going to need a measuring cup to measure your water that you're going to be using. We will also need a glass mixing bowl, or a bowl that can go into the microwave. And so that's very important. It needs to be microwave friendly. Don't use an aluminum bowl, metal bowl. Try and shoot for a nice glass one. So we're going to take this. You'll have a baggie in your kit full of cornstarch. Cornstarch can be found at any grocery store. It's very inexpensive, and it goes a long way with this project. So grab some of that cornstarch. Yours is already measured out in your baggie. We are also going to need a little bowl or cup. This is going to be the base of your ghost. You're going to blow up your balloon, set it on top, and that gives you that form to let it sit overnight and dry. Also going to need a spoon to mix your ingredients. So ultimately what we're going to be doing is putting in our cornstarch and adding the parts of water, mixing that up, and we're going to do a little microwaving with that, step-by-step mix, and that'll give us the glue that we need to make this project. I would recommend creating this craft somewhere like your kitchen, because it is very messy. Don't wear something really nice, because it's likely you're going to get some glue on you, or the sticky pasty stuff. It does wash out, but I would use something not so good. I would also recommend that when you are making that craft, so using that base, the balloon, putting the pasty cheesecloth over the top, I would work on a tray or cookie sheet, something like that, that then you can pick up and relocate. This is going to need to dry for about a day, depending on the temperature of your house. It depends on what it's like outside. It's been hot and cold, and it just depends on how much airflow we have. So it might be a little less, might be a full day. So those are the things you're going to need. So let's go ahead and get started creating. Okay, first things first, you're going to get that tray down, grab that dish that you're going to use in the bottom, and then take your balloon. Go ahead and blow that up. If you have troubles with balloons, stretch it out a little bit first. So I'm going to blow this up. I think I'm going to go a little bit bigger, about like that, and tie it off. So you want it, I'd say like the size of a softball, something like that. So we're going to be making a short little small ghost today. And then you can just kind of test the height of your vase with your cloth at this point to kind of see. You want to make sure all the edges are able to touch the tray or your table, that kind of thing. So you want some gathering in there, so it kind of can be crumpled up a little bit, and it's all touching, because the ghost is going to stand alone without that under it when it dries. So to me, this looks pretty good. I probably could go a little bit higher, so maybe in a cup or something as well, but this is what I'm going to go with. Our next step, I'm going to kind of put that off to the side. Our next step is going to be mixing up our concoction. And this is pretty easy. You're going to dump the contents of your baggie into your bowl. So that's your cornstarch. Put that into your bowl. And then you are going to put 1 cup of water in there. Mix that up really good. Stir that around. And then you're going to go visit your microwave. This is very important. You have to do this in little steps. You're going to need to microwave for about 25 seconds on high. Pull it out, mix it up, put it back in the microwave, 25 seconds, mix it around. If it's not a gel at that point, you might need to do another 15 or 20 seconds. That then should be plenty. But don't try to just microwave it all at once. Don't do 1.5 minutes. Don't right at once. Just do it in increments. Slowly mix back and forth. It's very important to do that. That gel that we're going to create is going to be very, very hot. And you're going to need to be able to touch it. So after you do that, after we make that gel, you're going to let it cool just a little bit until you can touch it. You don't want it to be completely cooled off, because if you do that, it's not going to work well. So next steps, we're going to mix that up. So I'm going to head down to our microwave and I will be right back. Okay, I am back with my goop here in the bowl, and so it's at a temperature that I can actually touch it a little bit. So you are going to take your cheesecloth and you're going to put it into the bowl, and you're trying to cover your entire cheesecloth with this slime. So you're just going to kind of work it around, and remember, this is hot if you don't wait a little bit. And so you're going to work it all the way around in there, just kind of mush it in, and it's going to take a little while because you want the whole thing damp. So just kind of keep squeezing it and working it around and around and around, and kind of just squeezing it in all around. And so you want to make sure your whole cheesecloth is covered in this slime. It's kind of fun, it's kind of gross, and it's very messy. So it's kind of a neat thing that this kind of turns out to be a gluey mess. And so I'm kind of pulling it apart here a little bit, and I can see like, oh, that spot's dry, so I need to work some more into that. So then after you get the big glob kind of done, just start doing it in individual sections, smearing that in there. And if you have any clumps, try to work some of those clumps out. So just pushing it in. This is going to take me a little while, so I think I'm just going to pretend like I have mine covered all the way so I can keep you guys going. You can kind of see I have some clumps on there yet. So just try to work those clumps in or down and off of your cheesecloth. So you're going to kind of squeeze or squeegee some of that off there. You don't really want those extra clumps left on your ghost. So just keep working it and working that extra off until you're kind of satisfied with the way it looks. And again, I'm going to probably stop a little bit early because you don't want to watch me do this for 5 minutes. You get the general idea. So I'll take some of those big goobers off. So let's pretend like I've got it all saturated. I've got the goobers off and we're good to go. So I'm going to move my tray over. I'm going to stretch my cloth out so there's not any big wrinkles. Just kind of pull it back into that large square that it was. And again, remember, I'm not going to want these hunks on there. Mine's just not all the way done yet. It's pretty close actually though. And then I'm going to drape it over my balloon like this and kind of position how I want my ghost folds to dry, how I want his little draping. And you want to make sure that you have some touching the ground because that's going to be your base. So this is what it's going to look like, but remember, you don't want all those clumps on there. I just didn't take my time and go through the whole thing. I figure you can kind of get the general idea of what I'm doing. So the next step is that this needs to dry completely. That's going to take you at least a full day, 24 hours. So go ahead and take that tray, set it off to the side. I'm going to show you the next step now on a dried one. Okay, so here we are doing the last little part of our ghost. I took it off my stand and you'll see inside, you know, it's dry, it's crispy. I took it off the stand. You can see the balloon is still inside of that. So what you're going to do is take a scissor and just kind of cut alongside, and that balloon will shrink and you can take it out and your ghost will stand all on its own. You have your piece of black felt. You can cut your ghost eyes with that. And so to have mine both the same, I'm just going to fold it in half and take my scissor and kind of cut some big ovals for my ghost eyes. And this way I have two that match. And then I kind of have to just, you know, turn this around. Where do I think I would like my ghost, which is the front, which is the back, you know? So you'll have to figure that on your own and kind of decide like, oh, are these the size I want? Or do I want them a little bit smaller? So that's kind of what I'm evaluating right now. I might go just a little bit smaller with mine. And then you'll be able to peel that backing on your felt. Now remember, friends, that if you think that you would rather hot glue them on, you certainly can. You certainly can. I don't know, it's so hard to decide. I think I'm going to go with this as my front. And so I'm just going to peel that off, that backing off. So it's quite sticky, and I'm going to stick an eye on and then the other. And so these are really fun. You can make them in different heights. And so, yeah, that's our little ghost. I hope you had fun crafting with us. It's kind of a 2-day craft, but they're lots of fun and they're kind of cute. And you can make more. You can make tall or fat, whatever size you want. So thanks for crafting. We hope to see you at the library.